When the letter first arrived, sealed in yellowing wax, bearing a crest I barely recognized, it sent a shiver down my spine. It was 1936, and I was a junior archivist at the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, lost among ancient manuscripts and forgotten documents. The crest belonged to the once prominent but now obscure de Rice family. Despite my curiosity, dread gripped my chest, a sensation I could not entirely understand at the time. I broke the seal with trembling fingers. Inside, in faded ink, the letter spoke of a forgotten chateau in Brittany, Chateau de Machecoul. It referenced hidden documents, obscure notes, and the lost history of Gilles de Rais, Marshal of France and companion in arms to Joan of Arc. History had quietly forgotten him, relegating his deeds to whispers among frightened peasants and cautious historians. But I knew the tales, the accusations of alchemy, witchcraft, and unspeakable crimes committed within the chateau walls. Yet, like all archivists, my hunger for truth overcame fear. Against better judgment, I journeyed to Brittany, my heart pounding heavily with anticipation and unease as the gray countryside rushed past my train window. The chateau awaited me, wrapped in layers of mist and decay, standing defiant against time. Villagers averted their eyes when I mentioned my destination, their faces darkening with silent dread. Inside the decrepit chateau, dust lay thick, choking the air and dulling the grandiosity of what once was. My footsteps echoed through empty halls as shadows danced mockingly around me. It felt as though unseen eyes followed my every movement, cold and relentless. Days turned to weeks as I sifted through moldy tomes and crumbling parchments, piecing together fragments of Gilles de Rais' life. Letters and notes hinted at his obsession with immortality. Dark rituals performed deep in subterranean chambers, and whispers of young lives taken too soon. As I delved deeper, the line between historical investigation and morbid fascination blurred disturbingly. One evening, a storm crashed violently outside, shaking the chateau to its ancient foundations. Illuminated by flickering candlelight, my research took a sinister turn. Hidden within the bindings of an innocuous prayer book, I discovered a leather-bound journal bearing de Rais' own handwriting, ink smeared as though by tears or sweat. Each page grew more chaotic, detailing his spiraling descent into madness. He spoke of a shadow figure he called le visiteur, an entity appearing at night, whispering dreadful promises of eternal life in exchange for acts too heinous to transcribe. The journal recounted ceremonies conducted in secret chambers below the chateau. Driven by a terrible compulsion, I followed its cryptic directions, descending a narrow staircase concealed behind a crumbling tapestry. My lantern flickered uncertainly, casting grotesque shadows upon stone walls slick with moisture. The air grew thick, pressing against my chest, and the further down I went, the louder my heartbeat resonated in my ears. Finally, I emerged into a vaulted chamber, hidden far beneath the earth. Symbols, twisted and arcane, covered the floor and walls, illuminated faintly by phosphorescent fungi. My breath froze when I realized I wasn't alone. At the chamber's center, a stone altar stained darkly, whispering silent horrors of centuries past. As I stepped closer, my foot caught on something, sending me sprawling to the cold ground. The lantern crashed, plunging the chamber into absolute darkness. Panic seized me, the darkness oppressive, alive with whispering voices, soft, insistent, mocking. I scrambled desperately, fingers brushing against something cold, brittle, bone. My screams echoed uselessly as I felt shapes move around me, unseen but undeniably present. Suddenly, silence enveloped me, profound and terrible. A soft whisper broke the quiet, icy breath tickling my ear, speaking in an archaic French dialect. Vous êtes enfin arrivé. Terrified, I stumbled upward blindly, hands scraping against stone, guided only by instinct and primal fear. When finally I emerged into moonlight, I collapsed gasping, the chateau looming malevolently above me. Dawn broke hours later, bleak and indifferent. Shaken, haunted by visions too dreadful to recount, I fled. Years passed. I returned to Paris, haunted nightly by the whispered words and shadowed memories of that subterranean horror. Sleep became an enemy. Shadows moved when I looked away, and mirrors betrayed glimpses of that subterranean chamber. Historical curiosity gave way to obsession, my sanity frayed and broken by unseen torments. Now, confined to an institution where nobody believes my ravings, I write this as a final warning. Chateau de Machecoul and its dark secrets are not mere legends. History may have tried to erase the atrocities of Gilles de Rais, but evil remains, patient and eternal, waiting beneath stone and soil for the next unwary seeker of truths, best left forgotten.